I'm sitting around watching the magic of theater getting ready to occur. That's what I'm doing here. I am watching these guys work their magic. My name's Wendy Knox, and I'm Artistic Director of Frank Theater. Frank Theater was started in 1989. I started it with a friend of mine who was an actor, and jointly a number of us had been a little dissatisfied with sort of what we considered the complacency in the theater scene in the Twin Cities. We didn't set out to start a theater, it was just we're going to do this project. And so after we did that, people go, what are you doing next? So then now it's 21 years later and we're still plugging along. Welcome to the Inner City White Trash Farm. The office is here in my home, which is handy and sometimes not. There's artifacts from Frank Theater that are sort of all over. I mean, they're in the basement's full of costume and props, and out in the yard there's artifacts from the various Frank shows over the years. This cart came from Mother Courage and Her Children, which we did in 2006 over at the Pillsbury A Mill. Then we've got the bed that's from a play we did called Tottering House. We thought we'd use it again. It was on wheels at one point, and now we decided to just make it into a flower bed. Ha ha. We are right now at the Playwright Center. It's our first day in the space for Denai Guerrera's Eclipse, which opens in a week. I think Frank's work is both artistically and politically edgy, is sort of a big thing that encompasses it. I think the work is oftentimes hard to watch. It might be painful, it might be provocative. There's also an offbeat sense of humor to it. It's interesting to try and find out where do those things intersect and make it a Frank show. I'm playing the role of set designer. Quick, while he's out of the room, I'll put the set the way I think it should be. See if he kicks me out.
Yeah, Frank Theater, you know, it's one of the few theaters from the 1980s that's still alive, and they've done it really by staying small. And Wendy has been able to turn all of their liabilities into assets. I mean, here I've got a small theater with no permanent home that does weird plays that nobody's ever heard of. I think one of the other things that distinguishes her work is that she's not afraid to fail. In fact, I think she really likes to be out where she's kind of uncomfortable and challenging herself.
The set designer showed up today, loaded the set in. The sound designer was here, loaded in the sound system. Mr. Lighting Wizard's been hanging lights up on a ladder all day. So tonight the actors come in, they'll walk through, see what the set is, adjust things. Oh, is this a prop? Oh, how do I get from here to there? Just kind of figuring out the spacing of things. Tonight we'll probably be playing with some sound, and then they will have costumes. And then tomorrow we'll be playing with some lights. We've got a couple days of rehearsal with lights, tech rehearsal, then we preview on Thursday and open on Friday.
When he go back to war, I go ask for one. Oh, I need a new wig too.
Yeah, that one more nappy than your head.
No, it not. It still make me look like Janet Jackson.
Are you crazy?
Couple little acting notes. Shay, when you come in, just before Tot, you said, I'm just wondering if you can't have more of a standoff with Bessie. People would say, like, when they go, like, how did you get a chemistry major? How did you become a director? And for me, it's asking many of the same questions. You're trying to figure out how do things work. I am curious, you know, when picking up a script, how are we going to make that happen, and assembling a group of people, you know, and it's really about the chemistry in the room, and about trying to figure out what does this play mean to us today. But you're saying, no, you have to know. You have to know, I'm 15, I know that. And I would compress that whole chunk, go, I want to be a doctor or a member of parliament. It's not sort of reflective. It's like, you've already thought about this. So that chunk, I think you can compress it. I mean, one of the biggest things about my job is giving people the tools so that they can do their job. And hopefully you hand off something to someone, and when you see what they take that, they match you and they raise you 10. That's very rewarding. Again, as a director, when you feel like you've sort of pushed them to the point where then they're all dancing.
He's saying that food tastes funny. He thinks someone or some spirit trying to kill him. He put a curse on himself. How God gonna bless man when he killing mother and daughter and stealing and chopping?
We do have kind of a funny position in the Twin Cities theater spectrum because we are definitely a small theater, but we've been around for 20 years and we have an incredible production history. The longevity of Frank, sort of in contrast to our pool of resources, lets us live in kind of a funny place in the theater spectrum here.
Minnesota Original is made possible by the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.